Welcome back to Man of Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and should we see what's going on our lovely little island of Fawnhollow today, where we can really see life as others for today, so we're not going to be doing anything particularly interesting. Not about what really happened. I suppose we're just farming Nookmar missions. I don't know what I'm going to do when we actually find fauna. That's going to be something I'm going to have to think about, because that's basically the only goal we've been slowly working towards, is trying to get all the villages that we wanted, and we're literally just one off after 500 or so days. So, you know, if you just started playing Animal Crossing, you want 10 of your perfect villages, you've got about 500 days of gameplay to get through. But anyway, hello there everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 4:56 PM on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Now for today's announcements. Today we have a visitor staying at the campsite. If this is fauna, I'm actually going to lose my mind. There's about 0% chance, but if it is, I guess that's what we'll be doing today. We'll just be slowly resetting over and over again until the person says, I'll kick out someone. Kick out Claude, the only person. I don't mean like that, it's very harsh, but still. Biscuit, what have you sent for us? Question for you, dear. I don't mean to throw it away. I want to take it first. You never wait You never wait the sun goes dark away and everything goes real dark and boring. Well, how about if everything didn't need to get real dark and boring? Think about it. Good night, Biscuit. What does that even mean? You know what? It probably means Biscuit wants to keep the party going. Oh, I see. He gave us a light. That makes sense. He wants to keep the party going. That's what it's all about, you know? He's a bit of a night owl, as you say. I've had this conversation before. I called myself like an afternoon, can't remember, like magpie or something. Something of that sort. Rather than a morning lark or a night owl. Because that's when I work best, I suppose. You are, Goose, right? Yeah, I had you back in Wild World. I remember you. A very shocked expression. You're not fauna, unfortunately, so we'll have to give you a pass. Isn't it kind of fitting? The last one we need is the dear darling. The darling is dear of them all. Not me, I suppose. I'm already on this island. But yeah, let's. What Nookmar missions do we got to do today? Because that's what we'll be doing. Take a pic. Take fossils. Chats, wood, fish. Fossils, chat, wood, fish. Do we have? We don't have fossils. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. What have I been up today? I recorded some Celeste. There's going to be some very short episodes of a feature. Celeste playlist. You won't see them for about a month, but still, if you are one of the ones who watch the series, you're going to be like, why are there 3 episodes in a row about 10 to 15 minutes long? And it's because I just absolutely crushed the seaside. Levels, and I didn't expect to complete them so quickly, so I tried to separate each of them into their own separate episode, and then when I did them quickly I was like, okay, I can't start the next one. What if the next one takes even longer? So there we go. That's what's been happening. It might not be the smartest decision to make with them, but it's how I've done it, so apologies if you're one of the future Celeste viewers or not. Yeah, apart from that, I played some Celeste. A tiny bit of programming, not really much. I've sort of just been vibing out today, I suppose. Not really much interesting. Made some lunch, ate some lunch. That's about it. Had an apple about an hour ago. I don't know why I'm giving you such a detailed breakdown of my life. It's not particularly interesting, I must say. But this is where I'm trying to basically think about what to talk about, and I don't really know. What's come out recently that I was like, that's interesting. Don't know. But this is where you hop over to the trusty r/games update, see what's been going on, or the front page of Reddit. Even though I don't really want to talk about half the things on the front page of Reddit, to be honest. It's just like, I don't know. Sheesh, working those legs. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. It's completely gone from my memory. So last, we'll have to spin our wheels conversationally until we get stuff done. Oh, have I done the crossword today? Have I done the crossword today? I actually can't remember if I did. Hold on, this is very important to me and absolutely not to you. Do you know what the word of today is? Cathartic. That's like when something feels like really nice, and it's like a release, isn't it? Let's see how dictionary.com describes it. Of relating to purging of the emotions, of relieving of emotional tensions, especially through certain kinds of art, tragedy, or music. Yeah. I had done it today. Alright, never mind. It was talking about autocorrect. Can we talk about autocorrect? But this is, what a cheeky way to get like things to talk about every single day, is you just look at the daily crossword puzzle and you just talk about whatever appears. I mean, autocorrect is like, it's actually astonishing how much smarter autocorrect has gotten over the years. Like, I'm not sure if maybe you haven't had like a tangible awareness of it, but especially when I first got a phone back in when I was 13 or something. I can't really remember. Autocorrect was pretty terrible from what I recall. it never really got things right. So I believed at some point I just turned off autocorrect and just typed things or texted things normally rather than trying to type things out on my phone. But now it's just crazy. Now like swipe. Like I remember it used to swipe only used to be a thing for SwiftKey, and now the Google keyboard's got that as well. And it's so unbelievably clever. It just like you can like swipe whatever like almost nonsense across the keyboard, and you don't even have to get things like even remotely correct. And somehow it still finds a way to sort of figure out what you're saying. Of course, I can't give it too much credit yet because it can't figure out nonsense words. But once it can start figuring out things like that, that's when autocorrect is going to get really scary, probably. And also, I don't know how you'd even incorporate that. But, you know, technology is a wondrous sort of thing. Because, like, when you're just typing normal things, a swipe is the swipe feature of a keyboard, which, by the way, if you don't use it, you should absolutely use it. It's so quick. I love it. It's not like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's my favourite thing to do, because that sounds, it's like... It's just definitively false, I suppose. But it's just like so convenient, I suppose. Typing using the swipe feature, I must say, definitely took some getting used to. Like it was not like I did it so flawlessly to begin with. I believe we had to take a photo, right? I don't know if we already did that. It seems like we already did that. And honestly, I don't recall. Which chopwood? What was the other one? Chopwood and I forgot. Catchfish. Chopwood, catchfish, sell things, fruit. Deep sea diving. Okay, how much space do we got? Enough space. We can make that work. But yeah, I started using it quite late. I think 16 or so. I don't know why I remember this. And I remember I was very slow with it. You know, took some time to get used to. It's a bit unnatural, just like swiping over, and it's hard to think as fast as how you type. But now I'm using it. Now I'm like a wizard with it. Not really, but still, I'm pretty good. You know. I can smoothly swipe over exactly the words I want, and then you know I suppose it's really the keyboard's doing most of the heavy lifting. I'm just doing the easy part of vaguely inputting the word I want, while Google Keyboard's just sitting there just like trying different permutations to assume all the letters which are nearby, being like, what is this word? So really, I've got like the easy part. But yeah, it's just crazy how much faster it is, I suppose, compared to like I'm just typing them out manually like how I used to do it. And, well, it's just... I guess most of it really is the fact that autocorrect is just incredibly good now. I don't know how it became so good. I guess probably through some predictive text stuff. I wonder how autocorrect even works. Is it based off just, like, some really complex Markov chain system? Because that sounds very strange. Or there's no way it's actually, like, AI. Is it AI taught? Maybe it is. I don't really know. A lot of things, especially in the much more breakthroughs, I suppose, of technology, tend to be taught using... AI training, machine learning, that sort of thing. I'm not really much of an expert about that sort of thing, and I have vague, not, I shouldn't say vague, I have, I mean, certainly much better ideas than the average Joe, certainly, but, like, I have a little bit of experience with machine learning, mainly just with, like, a random forests. I haven't really had much experience with anything else, but, you know, you train your data, you test your data, and you validate it, see how well it does, and then you try and put your model into action, something like that. Yeah, I'm not much of a machine learning person, but perhaps I'd love to learn much more in detail one day. But yeah, it's crazy how amazing it becomes. And I know there's that sort of game you can play where you just like touch the middle word in the autocorrect feature when you type, just to see sort of what it comes up with. I can see what my phone comes up with, to be honest. Just pull out my phone here as we slowly go forward. Open up a Google's Keep. What on earth is this? This app is not installed. I removed an app from my phone apparently, but I kept a shortcut there for some reason. Okay, let's see. It's just no. I'm not trying to search. I'm trying to create a new note. There we go. Okay. It doesn't start with, and like I can't choose something to begin with. And now I just got an empty note, which has now been deleted. Where can I search? Yeah, it doesn't start off with predictive text. I guess you had to start with something. So let's start with I suppose. The art of living space to street level instantly, and then we can do you have any questions or concerns, please visit the plugin settings. Never really appealed to the Dutch section of the train station and the other day, and I will be at the UCL volunteering That's a strange one. UCL being University College London, I suppose, which is a bit strange because I did not go there. So I don't know really why that's in my predictive text, but still. So, you know, I suppose predictive text is not quite clever enough to exactly predict exactly what I want. But, I mean, there's been plenty of very weird situations where I've talked about things and I Google things and, like, the first thing that complete comes up with is exactly the thing I wanted. I'm like, how did you know this? Google, are you listening to me? Probably are. But unfortunately, there's not really much I can do about it. Almost certainly my phone's listening to me without my permission, which is kind of a scary thought, but it's also like ubiquitous now. Which perhaps I shouldn't have such a laissez-faire attitude to it, but that's what I say. I should really check laissez-faire is what I mean. It's sort of like a easygoing sort of thing. Laissez-faire. Because I've been saying it a lot. It's an economic system, a policy leaving things to their own course without interfering. Kind of what I meant. I don't really mean it in that economic sense, but I feel like that's quite obvious from the context of what I'm saying. Anyway, autocorrect is not the greatest, but I feel like people, there's so many more like stories, I suppose, of people having fails, quote quote, with autocorrect than I feel like actually happens to me. Like I always read stories of being like, oh, people accidentally send a message with autocorrect, just changing it to some like, just absolutely warping the meaning based off like two words which are very similar. Not that I can really think of an example off the top of my head, but you always hear stories about that. I literally don't think that's ever happened to me. I think the only time that autocorrect has maybe failed me is if it just corrected to another very similar word, but the meaning just, like, it either doesn't make sense or is not going to, like, cause any misunderstandings. Like, maybe I tried to type, like, here, and it just put the wrong here down. I was like, sorry, H-E-R-E. It's like, I don't know. I feel like probably part of the reason is I tend to read through my messages before I send them off again. You know, just to check I've put everything down correctly. I mean, like, why wouldn't you? Why would you just send something and just be like, that's probably correct? And I know the answer is, like, because, like, there's not really much point in checking it in the first place. Like, 99% of the time you'll get it right, and about 1% of the time which autocorrect doesn't get it right, you can just send a quick correction afterwards being like, this is what I meant. But I don't know. I don't want to be like, I'm missing out. I can't believe I'm not #relatable with all the other humans on Earth who just, like, they type things out with autocorrect, when autocorrect sort of, like, messes them up and corrects what they didn't want corrected. Because it just doesn't happen to me. And I don't think it ever has. I think it's probably because I tend to check, like, each word as I type it with swipe. Like, so I'm just checking I've got each word typed correctly. So I'm sort of consciously checking my message as I go along. So I tend to catch mistakes much easier compared to perhaps other people do. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe that doesn't really hold much ground. But still. I suppose the only thing that autocorrect sometimes does is if you try and, like, type a name. No, I'm just trying to think about it. Like, because I like, if you try and type a proper noun or try to type a word, like, in a different language or something, autocorrect obviously isn't going to recognize it. Like, if you try and type, like, something, like, one thing I try and do is if I try and search, like, my games or something that I play, obviously these games are in Japanese, and, you know, with a UK English keyboard, it's not going to start trying to randomly correct what I say and type it in Japanese, because that would just be nonsensical, if anything. But yeah, that's the only time I'll try and type, like, Project Sekai or something, and it'll be like Project, I don't know, that's not a good example. I try and type, like, Dereste. I don't know. I don't even know what it corrects to, because I don't do it anymore. Every time now I consciously try and be like, you know, I'm going to type a word, it's not going to appear in autocorrect for good reason. It's not a criticism of autocorrect. If it actually could correctly type it, I would probably be kind of scared. I'd be like, what? How did you even figure out that's what I wanted? That's a scary sort of advent of, it's not even like AI technology, because when people think of AI, they think of, like, a living brain or something inside their computer chip working out. It's not really. It's just, like, really a load of Markov chains. User put this before, and it's statistically likely they'll put this word next. But still, you're all out of French toast. That's okay. French toast is okay. I'm not too infused by it, to be honest. But we'll just sell these things. I don't know. It's just, I suppose the internet would lead you to believe that autocorrect sort of fails tend to be far more common than they actually are. When really my personal experience is they basically never appear. The only thing that really happens is sometimes the autocorrect will put, like, a full stop at the end of a word. the end of your sentence, giving you much more like punctual, like a serious connotation to your message than you really wanted to give off. But that's like nothing. That's just like normal. Also, is this the first time we've ever seen a cute vanity? I swear we've never seen a cute vanity before, but I might be making that up. We don't need all this stuff. We can just sell them. We'll keep the soft shell turtle because I don't. But we certainly don't have that as whatchamacallit, a statue. Might as well buy this. I don't know if we've had this or not, but limited supply, so I'll buy it 5,400. It will thankfully do the mission for us at exactly the same time. So that's 2 birds, 1 stone for us. Customize shovel and net, maybe fishing rod. I don't know. Like we have such an abundance now of Nook Mile points. We really don't need any more, but there's nothing else for us to do on New Horizons. It's at least giving us some sort of purpose if we stick to it slightly. But even still, we'll take our leave, sit up straight, posture check. But yeah, I'm just saying, autocorrect is the fact it's improved so much over years to the degree that it's actually been is noticeably better than how it used to be. That's probably like even more like enlightening, because I feel like we as humans don't notice change all that much, especially when it's small incremental changes as something like this has. But me personally, like looking at where it is now, being like, wow, this is so much better than it used to be. It's weird. I wonder if there was like a tipping point exactly when it was just like, this is when autocorrect became something absolutely incredible. Oh, sorry, that was quite loud. I don't know. There you go, Phoebe. Another fossil to give to you. I mean, I think what we'll do probably after we find Fawnhallow and we get all our villagers. Yes, we still need to decorate the left side of our island. It's quite difficult because we don't have enough furniture items to actually do that with, but I guess we can put more thought to that. But also, probably the daily sort of routine would just be giving out presents to all our villagers each and every day. Something like that, you know? Get 10 fruits and give out 10 fruits. You might say that's a little bit boring, but I think that's just how life be, you know? We've reached the end goal game where we can just appreciate our villagers and just chat with them. So let's catch some bugs and get some seashells, I suppose. She sells seashells by the seashore. But yeah, I don't know, there probably isn't a way to do it, but it'd be really nice if you can sort of combine multiple languages together in like one sort of keyboard. Make it easier to type. Because I type in English, I type in Chinese sometimes, and sometimes I want to search things in Japanese. So I kind of want to have them all encompassed on one keyboard, and currently the solution is you can kind of do it, you just have to switch the language mode. It's in. But at some point in the future, the sort of like predictive text, this autocorrect that we got, is going to be so clever it can figure out what language we're typing in when we just start typing like immediately and on the fly adapt to it instead of us having to sort of manually change it. Of course, that doesn't really get rid of a problem that if you use a different input system, then you can't really. You'd still have to change your keyboard, I suppose, but because if you don't know, especially, well, I mean, Japanese has its own alphabet, but it's got obviously a completely different alphabet to English. So I use that sort of it's basically, it looks like a numpad, I suppose. That's the Japanese typing system I use. I don't know if it's got a name off the top of my head. I don't type using English. I don't type using Romanji. I type using the actual katakana or hiragana itself. I don't know why I say katakana first, but still. And it's got like a sort of numpad system where you like hold down on one button and then you swipe it in each direction to get different vowels, to get the different vowels in front of it. Which, I don't know, is quite a nice system. I will say, this is such niche knowledge, so if someone can actually answer this question, I'm going to be shocked. But I use it with Google Keyboard, and it used to have, like, for example, like, the vowel key is, the vowels in Japanese go a, I, u, e, o. It used to have, like, the vowel key, the big one, it would be a, and then it would have, like, a little e, u, e, and o around in the key as well, at the north, east, south and west positions. But now it's got rid of that, and I don't know why it's done that. And I could never figure out how to bring it back. So if someone knows that answer, please do tell me how to do that. But it's such niche knowledge. I can't imagine anyone would know. I assumed it was just like an update where we just got rid of it, but it's a bit sad because I found it quite useful to have all the letters there at the time. But I suppose it was a little bit cluttered, which is probably why they got rid of it in the first place. You might ask, how do I type in Chinese? I type using the English language, the English alphabet, using pinyin as it's called, because it's a lot easier. Another good alternative, I suppose, to typing in Chinese is just to like use the drawing input method, where you actually just write out the characters, because I think that's the most natural. But there's surprisingly, like, there's like 4 input systems, and I don't understand the other 2. Like, one of them is based off like stroke orders, like you input the strokes, and then that's like your alphabet, I suppose, which you type out. And the other one, I don't even understand the other one. I think it's meant to be like it's meant to be like you type the thing out phonetically or something, and you can like adjust the tone, and then it like suggests characters to give to you. It's weird, and I don't really get it, but still. That's that. Yeah. Autocorrect. You know, this isn't something I didn't really think about. Is autocorrect considerably, noticeably better or worse than other languages? I'm not sure how that would work. I suppose maybe languages which tend to never really use many different like synonyms for each other. They tend to use like, instead of just saying like happy, gleeful, cheerful, and all that, they just have like one word, happy, which it's very unusual, except for maybe outside of like poetic license or something, for them to use synonyms of a word. I'd imagine that's something that could make autocorrect easier, or if the language has a very sort of regimented structure, I suppose, grammatically. Maybe that makes it easy as well, because it can sort of predict being like, oh, this has to be an object, this has to be a subject next, this has to be the verb, or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I'd imagine even people who program don't really know, because I assume it's done through some sort of machine learning. And the crazy thing about machine learning is even the people who like created it don't even know what's going on. Well, that's not quite true. I mean, like on a micro scale, what's going on? Like what the AI is learning, I suppose. Well, that might not be true. Don't quote me on it. I don't know. I don't work with AI. I don't know, to be perfectly frank. But watch your space. Maybe in a few years' time, I won't know what I'm talking about, and you can ask me any of those sort of questions, and I'll be able to answer. For now, let's keep it to, I don't know, mathematical concepts maybe, or other things. Sorry, let me have a sip of water. I've been talking a lot. I need to stay hydrated. There we go. Drink up. Drinking up. Let's customize some stuff. Chop some wood. Yeah, I don't know. It's a useful tool, I suppose. It's certainly, I'm going to say, it's one of the more underappreciated piece of technology we have with regards to communication. It's sped up communication quite a lot. And to think it started just as one sort of red, or green, mind you, squiggly line in a Word document in Microsoft Office once. You know what's wild about that? Because if you don't know, if you're not someone who uses Word all that often, or never had to use it, I suppose, for homework assignments, which is actually would be absurd if you're someone around my age, I suppose, or even younger, is how Word has 3 different squiggly lines. One of them red for misspellings, which often, surprisingly, actually doesn't appear all that often anymore, because Word now like automatically corrects common misspellings as you go along. So that's pretty cool. Green is like grammatical errors or something, and there's a blue one as well, but I never understood what the blue one was for. I think it's for like phrasing or something. This is where you Google Word error squiggly lines. I don't want to remove them. Meaning. What are the red and green squiggly lines? Red flag for spelling, green flag for grammatical, and blue flag for contextual. A word spelled correctly but used out of context. I know you know what that means. Oh, I see. So you used the incorrect word there. Green for grammatical, such as subject and verb agreements. I see. Sell fruit. Sell shells. Oh, we didn't get any shells. Do we have enough space to get shells in our inventory? Yeah, we got that's enough space. Interesting. So if you didn't know, there's 3 types of squiggly lines in Microsoft Word. But the OG autocorrect. Well, I guess that's kind of a spell check rather than autocorrect, isn't it? and then Microsoft themselves started adopting autocorrect into it. So, you know, really, I don't know. I wonder which company was the first one to... Who invented autocorrect? That's a good question. This is like some sort of pub night trivia question, which I'm going to learn about. Autocorrect. Autocorrection. Replace as you type. There's a short Wikipedia article on it, which I'll see. Disadvantages. Some writers and organisations choose to consistently replace some words with others as part of their editorial policy. Humour. What? What? There's no history? Approximate string matching, predictive text. Yeah, I guess now I think about it, predictive text is different from autocorrect, which I've just sort of been lumping together this entire time. I can't believe this doesn't say, the neutrality of this article is disputed. Some of this article's sources may not be reliable. Okay, fair enough. Perhaps this is the sort of thing where you don't use Wikipedia. Who invented autocorrect? The man who invented autocorrect. Dean Hachamovich. Inventor on the patent for autocorrect and the closest thing it has to an individual creator, reaches across the table to introduce himself. Why is there so many random like illustrations or something? I don't know. Shout out to Dean Hachamovich. I don't know. I've closed it already, so I've forgotten his name. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's enough seashells. It's a pretty good invention, to be honest. Of all things to be known for. I mean, I guess it should be unsurprising, but it's not really one individual person who invented autocorrect. It's probably like a whole team working together, developing the technology for it to come together. Excuse me. Ugh. Apparently I'm quite tired. I was just kind of stretching, which is why I say far away from my microphone. But yeah, have I talked about what I've been up to today? I've recorded some Celeste episodes. That's kind of it. Like, I didn't really do... we needed one more fruit. Don't tell that. Oh well. Who cares? In which case I probably shouldn't have sold it in the first place, but whatever. It's gone now. Get out right now. It's the end of you and me. 'Cause I know about her and I want you to leave. We can do it quickly. We've only got like 2 minutes left of this episode. Or we can craft and customize instead. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We have so many Nookmail missions. It literally doesn't matter anymore. We're counting down the days, as I always say, for Nintendo to finally release another Animal Crossing update, so we have a little bit more content to work with. Rather than doing the same thing as I've always been doing for the past, just 8 months or so. Somehow people are still watching, which is honestly absurd. Thank you if you are, by the way. I don't mean that in like a means of disrespect. Like, I can't believe someone would watch us. To either me ignore you. It's just sort of like a thank you for keeping company, you know. Otherwise, I probably would have stopped. I suppose if no one watched it, but some people are, and somehow I don't know in what sort of ways. I remember someone left a comment on being like, oh, I kind of just put you like on my other monitor while I listen to you while I do other things or while I play Animal Crossing myself, and you know what? More power to you. Shout out to you if you're doing that right now. Shout out to all the second monitor sort of entertainers out there, because that's definitely how I choose to consume my media as well. Second monitor stuff, do something on my main monitor which is actually important, and then on my second monitor. That's why I got someone else just talking random stuff in the background. They could be saying anything. I'd have no clue. Doesn't even matter. That's what gets my support. So, I suppose I'm trying to create content which I too would consume. Well, it's not even... I guess I wouldn't... I don't consume my own content because I've been here for my content, I suppose. I kind of know what's going to happen because I did it. To a certain extent. Sometimes I watch some of the older videos again just to see what it was like, but when you watch the older videos, you're like, oh man, I was so bad at just talking back then. Look how much better I am now. Kind of. Yeah, I guess we're going to round off this episode here today. So, autocorrect, I suppose, as a topic for today. Thank you, Dictionary.com's 8th of September crossword for today for giving me such inspirational things to talk about. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join the Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.